One general compliment I've awarded the entirety of Bleed Out thus far and what we've been exposed to. This journey of personalized empowerment through various tribulations of life, however imagined by the songs, whether it be specialized or rather broad, allows for viewer interpretation and adaptability as suited. I found that this particular thesis is beautifully organized and developed with powerful resonance from this group. Again, Within Temptation, quite a dominant name in the metal sphere, certainly of European origin, that's always a common attribution, but of Dutch basis and symphonic metal presence, style I really love. But considering other past works I'm familiarized to from earlier on in their catalog, I consider that theming and the pull that metal has had with me over many years. I've said before, in many occasions, music is an art form. I have a deep association to it in particular because I've been through my own life struggles in various, contexts and circumstances. Music was always a helpful aid where people were generally rather absent. Not always, and not everybody, but you adapt accordingly, right? Music was there for me. Within Temptation, groups like them, though I discovered them only a couple years ago, they were one of my earlier initiations into the European metal market. I think in particular it's fair to say an influence that did forge where I now sit on a self-discovery journey of many names, but Within Temptation's a particular favorite, and Entertain You is a piece I have not forgotten about based on first experience. Any of the three pieces we've heard on Reintroduction basis. What I said, as a promise to you that we were going to take a full album sweep journey together, as music is best enjoyed in company, what we started on in the beginning with singles from Don't Pray For Me, with that single, I'm getting ahead of myself, but from Bleed Out, Don't Pray For Me being the origin, initiation, encounter, and then with numbers following up in terms of what released as singles. We've enjoyed those pieces collaboratively, but if I'm going to offer you a full album sweep, that would include these first three singles, which debuted, at least to my knowledge, way earlier than an album announcement. Whatever the circumstances of release and time frame, they are still such rewarding listens. It's really any piece of Within Temptation has been. But on theming in particular, Entertain You, I'm so in tune with the mind of this song. And on stylization, I've said before, I do love a rougher voice in metal, though I keep an open door policy really to any extreme here. And any artist, even maybe outside of metal too, with some exceptions planned as part of phase 2 of where we currently sit amidst Within Temptation. And our return, finally, after how long of that inadvertent hiatus I took. Still ashamed I'm so tardy on things. It's my Achilles heel, I guess, but Within Temptation, favorite with Bleed Out. I've been wanting to resume this journey at some point, and for the benefit of all of you that I left hanging in terms of Within Temptation fans, to continue on the journey as intended with that full album run through. I've been holding out this long in terms of the next 4 listens we're going to give and what came by way of the full album realization, but these first 3 numbers as well deserve some acknowledgement, I thought. And with Entertain You, I love the first 2 pieces. This one, on message, really clicks. It's an inspiring work. You'll see that too if you've not yet humored it, I think, on first introduction. But music is a subjective experience. I'll allow you to have your own determination as you see fit. But let's give you a first exposure path. And maybe to Within Temptation as well, right? As I've stated many times previous to this, anyone is welcome in terms of enjoying music collaboratively. Whether you're a longtime fan or an initiate listener that has not yet dived deeper, maybe even into the European market, I hope that you feel welcome here and that you can approach this space, even with your vantage point, just ready to, and willing to entertain really satisfactory, good art, as music so readily offers as an artistic form. I've taken time intentionally in distance and separation away from this number to make it as fresh for re-entrants as possible, but it'll be a great return nonetheless, and maybe a first interaction for you, or another welcome re-listen like me. Either way, we're going to enjoy Entertain You mutually. A number with vivid strength that ever since my first introduction I've never forgotten about. I love that. Unapologetically harsh. And with like that classic rock root intro, again, each piece is somebody so specialized on sound. This one no different. I love the drifts too on the higher inflection points of this song. It's beautifully molded. Man, the rhythm. I love it. So unapologetic. sure many of us couldn't deny we think that a lot in life, even if we don't say it. It's nice to have a song speak for us, right? I'm too nice to be that combative in real life, but if this song were my words. Those higher reaches, again, are just perfectly integrated. They're light, soft, differentiated again from other songs on this record, but beautiful intrusions. Amen. I love that build too. I know it's subtle and more so a background application, but it's perfect. Again, cues up the momentum, but it's just such a nice add-on. You're getting my favorite section. Here we go. Man. This one just has such a nice settle to it, doesn't it? Every time the instrumental cues up. That is like every metal fan's anthem. I mean, I speak from personal experience. I imagine there would be a common relation on this, but I don't want to get in the habit of speaking for anybody. I do consider, again, my point of approach when it concerns metal and the catharsis I so readily admire, the unapologetic assertiveness. So for a song to... I'll get to that, man. I don't want to get ahead of myself. You know, I think about perhaps adjacent journeys. I mean, well, I know there are. You know, with metal... I've said many times, the reason I push forward to it so much, even though I'll tell you, people in my life never understood it. I've dealt with the sideways glances, the glares, you know, backhanded comments. Oh, I've experienced it all. People never understood why, you know, of metal. It's just that bluntness and that zeal to speak to someone's heart in a state of need. A song like Entertain You and how it captures, again, that directed, unapologetic plight for self-actualization and to be comfortable, you know, amidst struggles, understanding. Well, I mean, the song communicates a lot, right? Maybe not. There's a directedness and an indirectedness and facade to it. I love the way the lyrics are managed. It instantly comes off as so relatable. Understanding personalized journeys, again, quite broadly. The first step you take into the number. Well, instrumental, I mean, let's start there. The score is amazing. We start in a real classic rock riff structure and then instantly just launch right into this full throttle punch of a metal, like a heavy metal skewed number. It definitely takes on less, again, symphonic metal attribution is what Within Temptation commonly gravitates to, but this more so is, again, in the heavy metal tone. Totally fits the emotional call to action with this number. It's just great. And again, for any metal fan, I think that mood really helps set the message in nicely. But the approach, it's so fittingly explained for somebody, again, just from like an analytical view of life, just watching situations around them maybe where they're placed in reality, and in people's lives around them where they feel indifferent and certainly negatively impacted, however we voice that in specifics, maybe to the extension of control as well. I don't think that'd be an exaggeration to term in into interpretation here. You think you own me, but I wouldn't be so sure you won a battle, but you're going to lose a war. Man, I love that statement. It's great. Beautiful way to meet challenge. Again, whether it's forces of life or even people sometimes. And you know, as I said, I'm way too nice to be as assertive and combative and telling somebody to their face, go to hell. But, you know, I'm kind of like, so many times in life, don't we feel that way? Especially when you're on the receiving end. Oh, and I've dealt with things personally. I won't bow. I don't care about the bleeding. Oh, isn't that just beautiful? Man, I don't care about the suffering in my life. It's part of everybody's story, right? It's everybody's testimony. Whatever tribulations we go through, and there are too many to catalog, at least in one video by sample, right? Everybody's life stories are different. All our experiences are different. But the challenge And the feeling of obstruction to life might be the exact same. But it's that actualized redemption, whether that's physically manifested in a practical sense, or even if you want to expand it this far, you could say to a spiritual extreme. Personal empowerment stories truly do resonate, and they're stories that people readily look for. Like every piece in terms of what I've experienced, every piece that's warranted it has an instant connection just in personal catharsis. It really does speak to me. And I think a lot of people, it has that potential. It's just such an invigorating listen, though, isn't it? The dramatic scoring on this. And again, the differentiation on voice. I've said that with Bleed Out. There's specific differentiation amongst the numbers collected here. And Entertain You really does have, again, like on entrance, a classic rock root with a heavy metal predominance. It's such a great voice, though. And Sharon's vocals, as always, perfect attribution. And that segue in later in the song with the In Your Mind, Your Denial of a Suffering, that section, the amplification on the percussion. Every time I hear it, I have to continually go back in my mind to that, or even the song. I've rewound it numerous times. I didn't, of course, in the midst of this in a full encounter, because we go through these pieces just every second by second and just let it track naturally, but even when that section kicked up, I want to go back to the beginning. It's so great. I love the number. Entertain You evolves its vision quite well, and it's a beautiful placement and a conclusion, I believe, to Bleed Out. Yes. Brings the philosophy of intent home. Personal empowerment journeys. I couldn't think of a better wrap-up number. Perfect. Perfect placement. A stellar piece. Just like every entry so far on Bleed Out. The ones we've been exposed to. And all forthcoming encounters, like our initiation. This is the last journey of reintroduction status. All the rest are going to be fresh. I'm sure that type of prowess is what's demonstrated so readily by Entertain You will also continue. That's been the story of each piece we've welcomed thus far from Temptation's recent offerings. I'm sure there'll be no different point of view with those. I love this one, though. It's a favorite number for me. I hope it was an invigorating listen for any fresh initiates to their work as well, too. You know, as I said, directly relatable. I'd love to hear if that is a connection, in fact, that's manifested through experiencing this number down below for you, if you, in particular, happen to be a new listener. Though, again, I welcome anybody, longtime fans, certainly, or any fresh initiates. What are your thoughts on this piece? It's a favorite. You know, I hate to rank things, but it is a standout on the album for me, just on emotional sentiment. It really connects deeply. And there's a power within Temptation in terms of their mastery. These numbers speak to people. They have me certainly more times than I can count. Entertain You. It's, it's just such a great fit for where I am in my life right now. Sort of at the destination point of the album. You know, I've been through my own journey of personal tribulations and working my way out of that. Whatever they may be, and there's plenty of examples to cite. It's going to be common, I'm sure, for anybody, generally, even outside of necessarily metal enthusiasts, right? I think anybody can approach this number in terms of message capability if you're looking for that type of resonance and connection that music so often readily offers. You've got that with this song. It's just it's a potent, inspirational work. Instantly connects and gives you that destination point, even if you haven't reached it yet. But the acknowledgement that you do have freedom in life, personal power as an individual, like everybody else does. Never convince yourself that you're fully subservient or that you owe anyone that. That was my mistake. But I've learned from that now, over lots of evaluation internally, and numbers like Entertain You, like many others, were right there for me as such helpful aids in that time of personal reflection and realization. It's such a rewarding number. Again, a favorite on message, a real standout on the album, and a perfect piece to work as a conclusion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.